Did you know that nearly half of the software engineers in the US come from abroad? That says a lot about the opportunities in the country, but still, a lot of software engineers fail to land a job. Do you want to know the reason? It's pretty surprising to see how fresh and experienced software engineering graduates don't land a job, even if they're qualified and they have all the right resources to have immense talent to do so. It's quite a strange problem, but very common. So what's going on here? While your theoretical knowledge and previous experiences are essential, but may not be enough to land you a software engineering job. Do you know why? In this video, I'll talk about the most critical reasons you are unable to land a software engineering job. By the end of the video, you should avoid these things when you apply for your next job or sit for an interview. Before I start, here's what all software engineers must know. Getting a job is all about becoming a finished product that is ready for the industry. So it's not only about your technical skills, it's also about your presentation, work ethic, and value that you can bring to a potential company. That may seem like a daunting task because you don't have any experience right now, but that's okay. I'll tell you how it's done, and I'll talk about how you can develop yourself into a promising candidate by pinpointing some basic mistakes. So let's get started. So first up, you don't stand a chance. Sounds strange, right? But it's something that software engineers keep telling themselves all the time. Most of the time, intelligent, talented, and capable students tend to underestimate their abilities before they even post their resume. A critical self-analysis is enough to talk them out of applying for a specific job. As a fresh software engineer, it can be overwhelming to compete with the modern industry requirements that tend to be harsh on young software engineers. Here's where a critical self-analysis will take you. I don't have enough experience. I've never worked with that technology. The competition is just too tough. I'm not sure about my abilities for this position. And lastly, I'll just suck at the interview. However, being overcritical often overshadows your skills, and this means that you might never apply for a job that could have potentially been yours. There are two ways to overcome this habit. Firstly, make sure that you keep applying to all the opportunities that come your way, and don't think too far ahead. If you pass, it's excellent, and if you don't, it's okay. Secondly, surround yourself with people that believe in your skills. At times, our critical analysis may have came from someone else. You may have done a lousy project, or you might not be good at some skill, but that's in the past. Don't let it take a toll on your future opportunities. In short, be persistent in applying to jobs. Maintain positivity. Always be hopeful. Even if you fail at interviews, you'll learn from these mistakes, which will help you in the future. The next problem you're facing is the wrong channel for your resume. Applying to a job early sounds great, right? But the earlier you post your resume, the more competition you'll be facing. For instance, most positions receive an application within the first 200 seconds of posting. So if you post early, you could be competing with hundreds of candidates. But if you post late, the competition can be less intense and the recruiters may look at your resume in more detail. Secondly, posting a resume through online hiring channels isn't always the best option. For instance, if you posted your resume on Indeed, imagine the competition with thousands of other candidates. Therefore, find a channel that's close to the company. For instance, if you have references in the company, use them. It comes with better networking among software developers and potential recruiters. Use your connections to your advantage and focus on building a network. So what's the next problem you're facing? Well, you're boring during an interview. Let's say you got an interview and you nailed it. You gave all the correct answers and the employer seemed impressed. You had the technical side covered. Your visual appearance was good too. Thinking back on the interview, you feel like the call should come any minute. Sadly, there's a slight chance that might not happen. Why? Employers take several interviews every day, and they'll choose you if you leave a good impression on them. So as a candidate, you must leave an imprint on the interviewer. You might ask, how do I do that? As an applicant, you need to be engaging and competent, and those are the two traits hiring managers focus on. So even if you have several projects on your resume and you're a great developer, you must make sure that the interview connects with you. But how? Well, here are two things that we're going to expand on and things you can practice. One, take advantage of your skill, and next, learn relevant skills. So how can you use your skills to wow the employer? It's a good idea to use your technical skills to your advantage. For example, you can ask the hiring manager if they're facing any issue with software in their current setup, or if they want to develop a software solution for the company. Give them suggestions about the problem and how you'd help them with it. Also, be warm and energetic when you talk. If your resume doesn't have anything interesting other than your skills, it doesn't leave an impression on the employer after you leave. Next, get trained. If you lack technical skills but have good communication skills, enroll yourself in an online course to overcome the problem. You must appear technically sound and be the person that people can get along with and see themselves working with in the future. Modern work environments focus on dynamic workers who are good with tech stuff as well as intra-office communication. In short, be technically sound, talk about your interests that align with your studies and work, appear positive, and show passion about software and solving problems that the company needs solving. So what's your next problem? You're not ready for a coding challenge. As a software engineer, be ready for a coding challenge all the time, especially if you're a fresh candidate with no job experience. Recruiters don't take risks, so they test you first thing. It all comes down to your technical skills, whether you're good enough to take the challenge. But that's not all. One of the key learnings for software engineers is how to work under pressure. You might be put against time or with other competitors. So even if you have the skill set, your time management and competitive traits will be very critical to get you through such a coding challenge. Therefore, it's a good idea to work on more projects, participate in coding competitions so you can perform better under pressure. Your next problem, your desperation is showing. When your interviewer asks you why you want the job, stop and take a step back. This is where a lot of software engineers make a common mistake that costs them a job. Tell them why you want the job, but don't go into all the details. Appearing desperate about the job can be criminal for software engineers. It could be your dream company. The salary package is just too attractive. You're the perfect developer for the desired role. Or maybe your current workplace is not working well for you. Anyhow, the employer don't need to know all that. Even though it's important to be honest, sharing the whole story can reduce your chances. When you come across as a desperate applicant, the employers often feel like they're doing you a favor by giving you a job. This right there kills all the good things you can bring to the company. Employers will look for someone who can bring more benefits to the company in addition to themselves. But how do you avoid this mistake? Instead of mentioning the salary package, tell the employer how you like the vision of the company and why it syncs with your goals. Also focus more on how you can benefit the company. Don't just talk about how this job will make you a better developer. The same principle applies to your resume. Write a to-the-point, focused resume for every job. The recruiters only look at resumes for an average of 6 seconds, so you must impress on them within that time frame. Be sure to watch my video on the biggest mistake to avoid in a software engineering interview to catch some other items that might be holding you back as a candidate. See you in there.